Alright, hello everyone, and in today's video I will be making a review over the tier 4 / level 150 blade skills. Now of course in the description of the video I will be posting links to the other blade tiers as well as the other level 150 skills. So if you want to watch those videos you can go on ahead and check those out. Not only that, but I will be posting more technical information for each of these skills in the description. So that way if you need to see everything all at once or you need exact information, you can go on ahead and look at my notes. Anyways, let's go on ahead and see what these do. Alright, so for our first skill we have Meteor Breaker. It costs 600 MP, which is very expensive. However though, it does do quite a bit of damage and overall it is a very nice skill. So its high cost is pretty justified if you ask me. And not only that, but if you wanted to, you could probably use it as a saver skill as well. But of course, I don't really know how well that would do as far as paration goes. But of course, other than doing a lot of damage, it is an AoE skill, so you can hit multiple targets with it. It will give you invincibility over the duration of its animation. So of course, if you put something like a swift tag on this, or you put trigger slash before it, stuff like that, or if you have like a lot of attack speed, then you won't get invincibility for quite as long. So overall it is a good offensive and defensive skill. And not only that, but it has a 2.5% chance per level to cause dizzy. So at level 10 it will be a 25% chance to cause dizzy, and if you don't know what dizzy does, basically it will lower the chance for your target to guard or evade attacks. So that is really nice for offense. Then for the one-handed swords, your dizzy rate increases to 75, or it increases by 75%. So if you have this skill at level 10, the dizzy rate will then be 100%, so that is really nice. And then for two-handed swords, it will do a little bit more damage. Anyways, let's go ahead and go on to the next skill. So for our next skill, we have Buster Blade. Now Buster Blade costs half as much as Meteor does, but it does still do quite a bit of damage, but not quite as much. But other than that, it for some reason has a range of 7 meters. I don't know why this is. It is a little bit more useful than you would think it is, especially if you're using like a dual wielder or you have an arrow as a sub-weapon, or maybe a dagger as a sub-weapon. But overall, if you are just if you're purely just doing blade skills most of the time, you won't be able to take advantage of those 7 meters, but it is still a nice feature. And of course, probably the best feature for this skill is that it will actually give you a buff when you use it. It lasts 10 seconds and it increases your attack based on your weapon's attack by 1% per level, so that's a total of 10%. And every time you apply this buff to yourself, you will heal for 1000 HP. So this skill is really nice for making a non-Revita build, or for soloing and stuff like that. Especially since it's cheaper, so it is a little bit more flexible with combos. So overall I like it more than Meteor, although a lot of people like Meteor more because it does more damage. But it just depends, what you like more. And one thing to note about the buff is that you can't actually refresh the buff. In order to get the buff again, you do need to wait for it to go away. It means that, the buff that you get from this skill can't actually be applied to this skill's damage. So, just keep that in mind when using it. And of course, that also means that you can only heal that 1000 HP every 10 seconds. Which, in my honest opinion, I can understand that, because if you could heal for more than that, then it would be a little bit overpowered. And then with the effects with your one-handed sword, it will increase the amount that you heal based on your vitality times 2, so that is pretty nice if you have a vitality based character. You could even use this skill for tanks if you wanted to. And then you will also, for two-handed swords, you will get a power increase based on your strength stat. Again, really nice. Overall, a pretty good skill. Doesn't do as much damage as Meteor, but still pretty nice. Anyway, let's go on ahead and go to the next skill. And finally, for our last skill, we have Berserk. Now Berserk, it is a support skill, but it only affects yourself, so it does give you a buff. It costs a total of 500 MP, which is a lot. So most of the time you will be using this as a saver skill. You can use it with pretty much any weapon type, however there is a reason you might not necessarily want to do that. I will get to that reason in just a second, but let's go on ahead and go over what this does. So Berserk, it'll give you a buff that lasts 10 seconds. It will boost your attack speed by 1000 per level. I mean, not 1000 per level, that's a little bit too much, but it'll boost it by 100 per level, which totals to 1000, which is a pretty big attack speed buff. So of course, it is really nice, so like if you want to use like a Don Yeti Crystal with it, so that way you don't lose too much attack speed, but you still get that plus 100 attack, you can still do that. It'll also boost your attack speed again by 10% per level, so which is a total of 100%, also really nice. It'll also boost your critical rate by 2.5 per level, so it's a total of 25. And it will boost the damage that your auto attacks do by 10% per level, which is a total of 100%, also really nice. And the one special thing that it does is that it will make it to where Rampage, where like if you have Rampage active, you also have Berserk active at the same time, you won't lose that buff, just as long as you have this active. So if you are using a Rampage build, you definitely need to get Berserk. Now, other than those positive effects, it also gives a few negative effects. So one of those negative effects is that it lowers your defense and your magic defense by 100%. However, though, you do get 1% of this back per level, so that way it's only minus 90%. And then you also lose a lot of stability, and that is the main thing that kills this thing for non-blade using weapons. But yeah, basically it will lower your stability by a total of 100%, but you will gain 5% of that back per level, so that way it's only minus 50%. Now, the special thing about blade weapons is that you get 25% of that stability back, so that way it only lowers your stability by 25%. So that is, why you wouldn't want to use this with any non-blade using weapon. And of course, with both of the blade weapons, you will also get a duration extension of 20 seconds, which is also really nice. Now, with a one-handed sword, it will also reduce the reduction on your defense and magic defense. It'll half that. So that way, with a one-handed sword, you only lose 45% of your defense and magic defense. But if you are using dual swords, you won't get that effect. And with a two-handed sword, you will get a boost on the critical rate. It will boost it by another 25. So that way, the critical rate boost is 50. So of course, you can combine that with Astute, and that way you won't have to get any critical rate boosters for your equipment. Yeah, really nice skill in my opinion. But of course, that stability reduction pretty much ruins it for any non-blade using weapon. Anyways, I guess I should say any non-blade using build. But yeah, anyways, let's go on ahead and see what all three of these skills can do in battle. Okay, so first we're going to go on ahead and use Meteor Breaker. This is going to do a lot of damage. See, it also inflicted Dizzy on him, so that means he can't guard or evade quite as much. I'm going to go on ahead and use MP Charge so I can use it again. That is if he doesn't tumble me again. He shouldn't be able to tumble me again, I don't think, because it does have a cooldown on it. So hopefully I can get this one. Yeah, it didn't tumble me again. Okay, here we go. Let's hit him again. So yeah, pretty nice. Does a lot of damage. Most of the time it's going to be your main DPS skill if you're not too concerned with MP cost. Alright, so now we're going to go on ahead and use Buster Blade. Now that time it grazed, and I got the buff. As you can see, if I use it again, it won't refresh it. So yeah, you can't just spam this skill for healing and whatever, you do have to wait for it. Overall though, the healing is still really nice, especially if you're using a solo build, like a full agility dual wielder. As well as, shield users that also have things like perfect defense, stuff like that. Both, it's good for both offense and defense, just like Meteor is. Yeah, really good skill. I personally like this one a lot. And so now, let's go on ahead and use Berserk. So yeah, I boost my auto attack power. Most of my hits are probably going to be criticals now. I get a lot of attack speed so I can attack very frequently. However though, I will of course take a little bit more damage because of the defense and magic defense reduction. But yeah, overall nice skill. You could use it for a non-blade using build, but I'm not really quite sure how much I would recommend that. I am actually using this skill with a second brawler that I have. It does work out pretty nice. The stability reduction wasn't quite as bad as I thought it would be, or like how it would affect me in battle, but it is still quite a big effect. Anyways, that is it for this video today. I will see you guys later.